to talk to you about wedging clay. When you get your clay, it might look nice and neat and put together, or it just might be a couple pieces that have been assembled. What you need to do before you begin your work is you need to wedge your clay. So what wedging does is it de-airs the clay. It gets rid of any air bubbles. It also compresses the clay together so that as you mold it and you stretch it, you don't have cracks and creases that will just get bigger as it gets fired in the kiln. All right, so to wedge your clay, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna work with the palm of your hand. And you're just gonna push down, and then you're gonna pick your piece of clay up and turn it, and then you're just gonna keep wedging. So if you've ever made cookie dough, maybe you've helped wedge the cookie dough or knead it, or if you've made bread, tortillas, any sorts of those things at home are real life applications of kneading or wedging. It's the same action, it's just in ceramics or in clay we call it wedging instead of kneading. Alright? Again, wedging just de-airs the clay, it compresses it together so that when you go to work with your clay, you don't have gaps that are going to cause a problem later in the construction of your clay. Sometimes what I do, because I've been turning it and turning it, I don't know if you can see that in there, it sort of gets a little bit of a spiral. That's okay. Well, oftentimes what I'll do at the end before I begin with my actual construction, whether that is making a pinch pot, making coils, or rolling out a slab, is I will just sort of compress it into a shape that I like. So that's what I do, make it look nice and neat. It also tells me, are there any places that need to be checked. You can cut with a wire tool, you can cut it in half just to make sure you don't have any air bubbles. But if you've put some time in, I would say a couple minutes, and you're focused on what you're doing, you should be okay. Alright, so there. Now if I'm going to make it, if I wanted to do a pinch pot, I would just go ahead and round it. If I was going to roll a slab with it, I would probably pre-flatten it out a little bit, but that is how you wedge clay.